Tabernacles, the glorious 7-day feast of the Lord. It's always a good time to be around righteous family and friends. But let's face it, some of y'all crazy as hell.
All my fellas. 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 Let's go.
The children shall rise up against their parents and call.
So some of your children, the children shall rise up against their parents. Some of your kids, I don't care how cute they are today, they may grow up to become demons. What we tend, especially black women, what they tend to do, they misconstrue that little cute, adorable baby that's right now, it might be 5 to 8, they're cute, they're adorable. But when they get 15 and 18, they're not that same child. That child, that cute, adorable child is gone. Satan's going, gotcha, bitch. I'm telling y'all straight. I've seen it. I've been in truth 30 years. I've seen kids grow up and become demons on earth. But they were so cute. They were so adorable. They didn't stay like that. And it's nothing you can say the parents did wrong. The parents had them in the truth, teaching them the Lord, but when they came of age, they decided, I don't want to do this no more. Read that again, Netchariah.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death.
It's just like some of you husbands in here. You're only here because your wife has forced you to be here. Can I get a bomb on that one? I'm not getting a bomb because he know that's him. Damn!
We got a bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Hazeloo, we got a bishop on deck. Hazeloo, we got a bishop on deck. Hazeloo, see my bishop on deck. All rise on feet, show respect. All these damn dogs get checked. Hey, see what I'm saying? Hey, shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out. Tuesday, shout him out. Tuesday, put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Hazeloo, we got the bishop on deck. On deck. Hazeloo, we got the bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Hazeloo, we got the bishop on deck.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. You know what day it is. That's right. It is Shout Out Tuesday. It's Shout Out Tuesday. And you know how I love to read your letters of exhortation and your donations of support. But before I do that, I often love to look at a little bit of our hidden history. So as I always say, get your libations on and get your diet food on. Well, I don't always say that, but I'm starting to say that. Get your diet food on. That's right. Put that hamburger down. Put them French fries down. Put the steak down. That's right. Put the steak down. Get some diet food. Lose some weight. Shoot, after the broadcast, jog around the block or something. Get off your lazy behind. Get off your seat. Do something, will you? Y'all know I'm speaking to myself, too. Speaking to myself. Anyway, listen. Y'all know I couldn't do this work without your constant support. And I also pray that many of you are subscribed to IUIC TV because YouTube and her constituents, Google, will soon, well, I shouldn't say soon, they will plan on shutting us down. They are planning on shutting us down. So make sure you are subscribed to IUIC TV, where you can see the full episodes of the events page, all right? So what I want to do right now is take a look at our hidden history, all right? And I'll be right back.
Africa being an accurate description of the regions of Egypt, Barbary, Libya, and Bildergerd, the land of Negroes, Guinea, Ethiopia, and the Abyssinia, that's Ethiopia. All right. This was published in 1670. Africa being an accurate description of the regions of Egypt, Barbary, Libya, and Bildelgared, the land of Negroes, Guinea, Ethiopia, and the Abyssinians. That's Ethiopia. Published in 1670. 1670. Let's go in. All right. I'm on page 34. That's the original page, but in this book it's on 31. All right. I'm going to start here. Many Jews also are scattered over this region, some natives boasting themselves of Abraham's seed. It's talking about Africa. See the title there, Africa. Many Jews also are scattered over this region. What region? Africa. Some natives boasting themselves of Abraham's seed, inhabiting both sides the river Niger, or Niger. Others are Asian strangers who fled thither either from the desolation of Jerusalem by Vespasian at 70 AD, or from Judea, wasted and depopulated by the Romans, Persians, Saracens, that's Muslims, and Christians, or else such as came out of Europe, whence they were banished. So it's referring to those Jews, those black Jews that were banished, those Jews that were keeping the commandments that were banished. Not all the blacks, but the ones keeping the commandments. Out of some, they were banished where? From where? Out of some parts of Italy in the year 1342, out of Spain in the year 1462, out of the Low Countries, that's the Netherlands, in 1350, out of France in 1403, out of England in 1422. These all differ in habit and are divided into several tribes, having no dominion, though both wealthy and numerous, but despised of all nations, and so abominated by the Turks that they are not admitted to be Mohammedans unless first baptized, and then no otherwise made use of than to receive their customs and gather in their taxes. All right. Here's, you see Spain there. All right. I want you to look at the borders of Africa. There's Arabia. Let me just come in closer. All right. There's Somaliland. This is the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, called Abyssinia at this time. I want you to notice where they got the Jews located at. There's the Falashas there. Look over here, Yemen Jews. That's in Arabia. But I want to focus on Africa. All right. Taliban Jews. A pre-exilic Yahwism. That's for those that follow Yahweh. All right. Let's move over. Let's move over. I'm going to go down to the bottom. Look. Loando Jews. This is on the coast of Africa. All right. Mavumbu Jews. Look. This is what I was just showing you in the other books. San Tome Jews. Remember the Jews were cast out of Spain and sent to San Tome or St. Thomas. That's that island right there. All right. Look, Levite cities. Where? Amongst the houses. You know, a lot of you Nigerians, you hate the houses. There's Cameroons. Levite cities over here. This is Nigeria. See? Nigeria. Nigeria. You got Levite cities there. Houses, Levite cities. Beni Ephraim, sons of Ephraim. Beni means, or Benai means sons of Ephraim. Okay? Dahomey Jews. Jewish traces all amongst the Ashanti.
Now, what y'all think about that? I think that was some good stuff, if I do say so myself. And in fact, I will say so myself. That was good. That stuff was good. That's some good stuff right there. So listen, I'm not forgetting about the Arabs, and y'all know I'm definitely not forgetting about these Idumeans, these Amalekites that claim to be Jews. Oh no, they on God's hit list. They on the top of God's hit list. Yeah, God has a hit list. Read Psalms 83. He gives a list of nations who he's gunning for. So what we're going to do right now is take a look at how modern day Israelis, Edomites, how they feel about us as black people, how they became Jewish, and how Christian Zionists are political now, how they feel about what's going on today in Gaza and Palestine. All right? And then I'll be right back right after that with my biblical commentary.
Israel is turning itself into an apartheid state. It used to be the case that the word apartheid was never used with Israel.
In order to discredit the apartheid label, the lobby has launched a campaign to try to co-opt black South Africans.
Black South Africans who were apartheid activists, who were brought to Israel, saw the reality, came home angry at BDS. They felt lied to. They felt that someone had tried to steal their narrative. This is an effective tool. Bringing these black South African, former BDS activists, now Israel supporters, to American campuses.
During his volunteership, Tony learned that the Israel Project has been developing a strategy called Stop Stealing My Apartheid. The plan is to feed articles written by black South Africans into the American media, claiming that BDS has distorted their history.
If you're disgusted by segregation in this country, if you're disgusted by South African apartheid, then you should also be disgusted by Israeli apartheid.
Another workshop was addressed by Israeli diplomats from consulates in the US. Black Lives Matter had attracted particular criticism after voicing support for the BDS movement. It appears that Israel's diplomats may be trying to challenge the apartheid label by canvassing support amongst African Americans.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there. I had last week a dinner, sit-down dinner at my house for 40 people, which are considered the leadership of the black community, and very important people. They can be part of our doing an activity.
Pro-Israel groups are trying to cultivate a new generation of black leaders that is pro-Israel by bringing them to...
This is a fascinating book, and the web pages are there. You can check it out. Facts are facts. This is a book that was written by a Jewish man. And he confronted the thinking of many of the high-placed individuals of the world. This is interesting stuff. In this book, Benjamin H. Friedman, a Jewish man, writes about the Jews and reveals an interesting history. He states that the present Jews in Palestine are not the true descendants of the Judeans, but rather descendants of the Khazars. In the letter addressed to D. David Goldstein of Boston, Massachusetts, a convert to Catholicism, the author Benjamin Friedman of New York City, dated October 1954, provides some fascinating insights. This is in the public domain. Let's study this for a while and see where we get. Benjamin H. Friedman claims that the word Jew was only introduced into the English language in the 18th century, and that Jesus referred to himself as a Judean and not as a Jew. Inscribed upon the cross when Jesus was crucified were the Latin words Iesus Nazarenus Rex Iodeorum, which means Jesus of Nazareth, ruler of the Judeans. Now this is fascinating. I went and checked it, and it is so. Yes, it happens to be so. Now the word Jew today has a religious as well as a political connotation. You think of a Jewish entity, a government, but you also think of their religion incorporated at the same time, whereas the term Judean is a geographic connotation. It's a geographic. It doesn't incorporate the religion. It's where he came from. He was from Judah. He was a Judean. He further writes, the form of religious worship known as Pharisaism in Judea in the time of Jesus was a religious practice based exclusively upon the Talmud. The Talmud in the time of Jesus was the Magna Carta, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all rolled into one, of those who practiced Pharisaism. The Talmud today occupies the same relative position with respect to those who profess Judaism. So the rituals and rites that many of them observed were based on the Talmud and not on the Torah. Rabbi Morris, this is all from the source, Rabbi Morris in Kurtzer wrote a most revealing and comprehensive article with the title, What is a Jew?, which was published as a feature article in Look magazine in June 17, 1952 issue. In that article, Rabbi Morris Kurtzer evaluated the significance of the Talmud to Judaism today. In that illuminating treatise and that important subject, by the most qualified authority at the time, Rabbi Morris N. Kurtzer stated, the Talmud consists of 63 books of legal, ethical, and historical writings of the ancient rabbis. It was edited 5 centuries after the birth of Jesus. It is a compendium of law and lore. It is the legal code which forms the basis of the Jewish religious law, and it is, note, the textbook used in the training of rabbis. So rabbis are trained according to the Talmud. And the Talmud has very little in common with the Bible. Then he states, from the birth of Jesus until this day, there have never been recorded more vicious and vile, libelous blasphemies of Jesus or Christians and the Christian faith by anyone, anywhere, or any time than you will find between the covers of the infamous 63 books, which are the legal code which forms the basis of the Jewish religious law as well as the textbook used in the training of rabbis. I don't want to go into it. If I were to put the quotes on the screen, which the Talmud contains about Jesus, you would be horrified. It is some of the vilest statements that I have ever had the dishonor of reading. And this is what their training consists of. He then proceeds to quote some of the most horrendous statements from the Talmud regarding ethical issues, and not only regarding ethical issues, which deal with many, many issues from economics to relations with women, etc., and of course, the view on Christ. As to the origin of the present Jews in Palestine, he states that those Jews derived from Eastern Europe, and many of the Jews that today live in the reconstituted state of Israel come from Eastern Europe, are not descendants of the Judeans or the lost tribes of Israel, but rather descendants of the Khazars. Who were they? They were a nation most people do not even know of. He writes, the so-called self-styled Jews in Eastern Europe in modern history cannot legitimately point to a single ancient ancestor who ever set even a foot on the soil of Palestine in the era of Bible history.
All right now, don't say I didn't warn y'all. I've been telling y'all this truth for years. The bishops, the deacons, the captains, the officers, and the soldiers have been warning you brothers and sisters. Y'all better get this truth in your spirit. Get it in your spirit, in your soul, in your mind. Meditate upon these scriptures that I'm giving you, okay? Meditate on what you've been seeing that I've been showing you, all right? Please, please, please. Now, what we want to do right now is I want to talk about conversion. These so-called Khazars, Idumeans, that's who they are. That's what the Bible calls them. Let me show you that first. Let me go to Ezekiel 36, verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. See that? See that word Idumea? It's a Greek and Roman word for Edom. The word Edom means red people whose blood shows through their skin. That's what it means. Which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, because they took the land despite knowing the fact it did not belong to them. It does not belong to them. To cast it out for a prey, meaning they called their fellow Europeans from Poland, Czechoslovakia, Russia, Germany, Kazakhstan, France, and said, come, get some land, please, come. And all their people started to come. That's what it means when it says to cast it out for prey. All right. Now, they converted to Judaism during the time of the 8th century en masse. But there was a conversion prior to that. Let me show you. Let's go to the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 17. And it reads, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews, our people, had joy and gladness. A feast, this is the Feast of Purim, and a good day. Here it comes. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them. When you read this history of Queen Esther, she was of the tribe of Benjamin. The Persian king married her as his wife. She had no power. Mordecai, her uncle, set it up. But remember, they were slaves. Persian king married her, not realizing who she was, not realizing she was an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. Mordecai instructed her, do not tell the king your identity, your nationality. Don't tell him. So she didn't say anything. Then Haman, the Greek, the Edomite, plotted to kill all the Jews under the Persian Empire. That's when Esther revealed her identity to the king, and the king, desiring to save his wife and her people, allowed them to fight back and wrote laws about us fighting back and killing anyone who came against us. So all the other nations that were there, including the Greeks, were afraid. And they didn't want to get killed, so they said, oh, we are Jews too, we are Jews. So they started to adopt the name as Jews. So that's one of the first conversions there. There was another conversion that many, well, I'll say all Christians overlook. When you read Acts 13, watch this, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called nigger. The word nigger there means black. They were called black because they were black. The prophets and teachers were black. And Lucius of Cyrene, that's North Africa, and Manaen, watch this, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. You guys see that right there? I want you to look at Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Now, who was Herod the Tetrarch? Y'all know who Saul is. He later became known as Paul. But who was Herod the Tetrarch? When you look up Herod, this was an Edomite who Rome set up as king of Judea. Okay? Look at Luke chapter 1, verse 5. I'm only going to read the first several words. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea. Do you see that? There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea. How was Herod, an Edomite, a Caucasian, a convert, the king of Judea? Rome set him up as so. Okay, he went to school with Paul and other Israelites, learned our laws and customs. Now I'm going to show you more evidence, more proof. Let's go to the book of, I believe it's Acts 26 and verse 1. Then Agrippa, he was relative to Herod. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth the hand and answered for himself. I think myself happy, King of Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee, touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews. Here it comes, verse 3. Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews. Wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. How was Agrippa, and he was an Edomite, Idumean? How was he expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews? He also went to school and learned about it. In order to be the ruler over our people, he had to learn our language, laws, custom, culture, traditions. He had to learn everything. Herod and Agrippa are of the same family line. Same family line. And notice Agrippa was also a king over our people. So these are converts. Most Christians never look up these people. Like when you could just do a basic Google search about Agrippa and Herod, okay? And look for older Bible definitions. They'll show you clearer. Because like the more recent ones, what they're trying to do on Google, on the internet, is change the fact that these were Edomites, Idumean converts, okay? Now the prophet Daniel prophesied about a mass conversion. When you read Daniel chapter 11, Daniel chapter 11 is about the various Greek generals and their dynasties. So let's go to Daniel chapter 11, verse 14. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. The king of the south was Egypt, Ptolemy over Egypt. Watch, let's read on. Here's the point. Also, the robbers of thy people, meaning there's a group of people that would rob our heritage. Also, the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves. They exalted themselves as the Jews, as Israelites, to establish the vision. Establish what vision? That they are the Jews. So let's read it again. Also, the robbers of thy people, they robbed our heritage, our culture, our land, our book, our records. Also, the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. You see that? You see them last four words? Here's the prophecy. But they shall fall. That's why we ain't stressed with Amalek, these Idumeans, these converts who hate us and despise us. Okay? We ain't stressing it. We going to prophesy and prophesy till we can't prophesy no more. Now, Jesus Christ addressed these converts. He addressed our people in regards to the converts. Let's go to Revelation chapter 2. Okay, let's start at verse 8.
Attention Israel. Shout Out Tuesday will no longer be hosted on YouTube. For all future viewing, go over to and subscribe to IUIC TV. And remember, stay in the spirit. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.